Hello, everybody. I'm Steve Lacey. Welcome to my first episode of my new podcast, Binge Talking. Genius title alert. I'm very excited about it. Basically, the thought behind doing a podcast was I wanted to be able to talk in a longer form setting to a lot of the people I've been able to meet over my time living in New York. I mean, I think by far one of my favorite parts about living in New York, there's so many it's tough to narrow it down, but one of the best parts about New York is all the cool people I've been able to meet in the course of my real life. And the hope with this podcast is to bring in a lot of those people and sort of talk more at depth and share what I've learned to love about them with you through this podcast. And, you know, along those lines, my first guest is totally perfect representative of what I want to do. Her name's Laura Perlongo Shulman. She's someone I've known for going on 5 years now. We met through mutual friends at a party, and like a lot of our relationships these days, we followed each other on Instagram, and we actually, I think, as just people who met randomly at a party, became better friends sort of through each other's content. We sort of liked what each other was about, and we talk a lot about, the whole ridiculousness of all these people going around pretending to be influencers and how silly it all is. The thing I love about Laura, which you're going to see, and I think you're going to love about her too, is, as even I said at the beginning of this whole idea of talking in an authentic voice, is even that's sort of become a cliche, but it's not for people who really walk the walk and talk the talk. That's what I love about Laura. That's what I think you're going to love about her too. So without further ado, it's my first episode of Binge Talking.
From New York City, USA, welcome to the Fox 5 Podcast Network.
All right, this is a very exciting episode of Binge Talking today. My friend Laura is here. It's her birthday.
What up?
Not to date the whole event, but anyway, I'm excited she would come here on her birthday. Laura is a friend of mine, and the way we became friends is very postmodern and fascinating, and that's a lot of what I wanted to talk about with her. This is Laura Perlongo Shulman, and Laura, welcome. Thanks for being with us today. So I love our backstory. I met you like 5 years ago-ish through, if anyone follows Laura, she's got a massive social media thing on Instagram and Snapchat and everything, but her good friend Carol, who you always talk about, is friends with my friend Teddy from Boston. So we met. I
remember we met at a party.
A bar or something. Like it was
party.
Like, Teddy was in town. He's like, my friends are out. Let's go out. So I met you, and then, but the real nexus of it is then we followed each other on Instagram.
Right.
Which is like a big deal. I don't follow a lot of people or whatever, and there's always like a little bit of pressure, like, oh God, will I be cool enough for this person? Will we stay tight?
I feel like you skipped the whole major part of the story.
Okay.
We met at a housewarming party.
Yes.
And at the time didn't know it, but I was dating an aspiring softcore porn photographer.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if you wanted to go there. Who I also still follow. We actually will go there because I love that part of the story too. Yes.
So we all took a bunch of photos.
Yes.
But you were just there. You weren't like involved in the photo shoot.
Yeah, I was an observer.
We were all taking like funny, they were like half nude photos in my friend's closet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I was like, well, I guess he's cool because he was here with us hanging out. And then we became Instagram friends based on that. We had it was like an intimate first meeting.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so you're right. So I met you and the boyfriend at the time, and I followed both of you. So, and then we stayed friends. We'd like each other's stuff. We'd comment. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I think like we're actually, this is great. Okay, this was a genuine, interaction we had. And then fast forward a little bit, and you post a picture of you on the back of Nev from Catfish's motorcycle. I don't know you'd broken up with the boyfriend.
Oh, right.
So I know you two as a couple, and I see your stuff, and then all of a sudden I see that picture. And I remember I felt traumatized by it because I didn't know there was a breakup. Like, for real. I'm like,
I know.
I'm like, wait, Nev from, what's going on here? So I think I actually messaged you on the phone. I'm like, wait, what is this all about? And you're like, oh, he's charming and it's funny. I'm like, okay, they must be broken up. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, well, I think the thing about online relationships, because we were a real life relationship, but then you put your whole world online,
right?
And the breakup is awkward.
Yeah.
Like, do you tell your fans?
Do you erase their
friends?
photo?
Yeah,
no, I know, right? How do you do that? Mm-hmm.
So there was a couple in there where I was like, I'm out. you can tell when someone's single, they start posting more photos of themselves.
The content changes.
Yeah,
right.
They're a little like sexier in their pics. So they did have a period of that, and then I sort of moved on. It was like kind of the ultimate fuck you to my ex to be dating
oh my God, I know.
a celebrity after.
Right.
Yeah, which was funny. I at first I think I was just dating him to like get back at my ex for a minute.
Right. It does get it gets so political with like the content and the message you're sending to the ex and then the friends and everything. Like it's so much more complex nowadays. I feel like the whole thing, the decoupling thing. So you move on from him, and now you're with Nev Schulman from Catfish, which is fascinating. That's who you're married to. Like you just got married this summer.
It started off as like a I'll like go on a date with this guy for a pic. And then we like fell in love. And it's funny how that happened.
No, I know, you're right.
It's funny. So now, but we had a kid pretty
Be careful
quickly.
who you take pictures with. Like, you never know where it's going to lead. You're not in control fully of the universe,
Yes, it's true. You got to watch yourself.
Right.
Watch yourself, because then you'll end up, married to the guy from Catfish.
Right. So that was that like 3 years ago?
We've been together for 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a 10-month-old baby girl.
Right.
Cleo.
Yeah.
Who is a dream.
Mm-hmm.
I wish she were here.
She's so brilliant at hers.
Oh, she's so funny.
So she's hysterical on planes too.
She's so funny on planes, and like we have been teaching her how to snuggle, because she at first she wouldn't snuggle us.
Yeah.
But now we can't get this girl to stop snuggling.
Okay.
Like she's just like hanging out with her toys, but all she wants to do is go and lay in her stuffed animal area.
Right.
And just lay there.
Mm-hmm.
This girl loves to relax.
Yeah. No,
She's so
that was like one of the themes of it must have been your Instagram stories this weekend or something, but she was snuggling with Nev on the bed, and it was like, oh, this is great. We finally got
her to snuggle. Now she won't stop
Now she won't
snuggling.
do anything else but that,
And
right.
I'm like, oh no, I don't know if she's going to get into school, because they watch them play, and she's just going to lay down in a pile of stuffed animals.
Yeah.
And I'm a little concerned, but I think it's pretty cute.
Now the birth of, so we've had there've been several milestones in our friendship where I'm like, this might be the point where we finally, where it's too much to maintain. Like I remember I followed, you joined Twitter and I followed you back. I'm like, oh, this might be the straw that breaks the camel back. Maybe now we can't retweet each other. Maybe this will be too much. But then when Cleo was born, I was walking across the park and I snapped Carol something, joking about her being godmother of the year or whatever. I'm like, as long as it doesn't interfere with your travel plans or whatever. And then she snapped me back. She's like, hey, come by and meet Cleo right now. I'm like, wait, what?
You transitioned into a real family. You're part of our family.
No, that was crazy because, for real, she's did that. I'm like, are you sure? I mean, and she's like, no, come by. You got to come by and meet Cleo.
So the baby was 3 days old or 2
days old. I never met Nev, anything, and I just show up.
My dad's there. It was my family.
Your
and
dad,
Steve,
who I am
this
obsessed
guy
with.
from the internet.
Right.
I loved it.
And your dad, who I'm obsessed with.
Yeah, my dad.
Who I know only from social media, but I met him in person that day when I met your 3-day-old
I think you brought
child.
a gift. That was really sweet.
Oh, I got you a card. I went to Papyrus around the corner.
So nice.
Oh, good.
That was more than most people brought.
It was a big deal because, again, it's just these barriers of oh, this is a friendship that exists online, but now it's transitioning into real life friendship.
Well, I still haven't met your dog.
Oh
Ryder.
my God, we'll have to do a park rendezvous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met your wife once.
Yes, that was at someone else's birthday party.
I think
was
it
it?
was Carol's birthday.
Carol's birthday last year, which is around this time of year, I feel like. Was it in the fall?
It's in December.
Oh, that's right.
I think it's December 15th. I feel bad that I don't know that.
That's right. That's right. Carol Perez, right?
Carol Perez.
She's part
at Miss Carol Perez 15. I love her username is so good.
Right. It's so
did she make it when she was 15?
Or was she the 15th Carol Perez to get an Instagram account?
Something interesting that happened recently is that someone started an Instagram for my baby.
Oh, Lord.
And they're screenshotting all of my Snapchats and now putting them on Instagram. And I don't know how to feel about this, because on one hand, it's nice. It's like an album of her life.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's a little creepy.
So you must have, all right, so that, let's talk about that. When I met you, you were fun, wacky artist. I liked your whole thing. You're dating the Instagram photographer. It was edgy but cool New York thing. But then you meet Nev, and then this kicks your social media game into the stratosphere. Follower wise and everything must have been crazy.
Yeah, we started from the bottom, and now we're kneecap high.
No, come on, you're higher than kneecap. You got I was just checking it. Now you have 150,000 Instagram fans or whatever.
Right.
Right.
And compared to Nev, that's modest.
He has 1 million Twitter.
He has 1.5 million, 2 million. I don't know.
On Insta.
He's in millions everywhere. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like that's a lot of power.
Facebook is his biggest. It is pretty amazing, and he's got like a solid group of people that look to him for real content. He's not fluffy.
No, totally.
Yeah.
So like another milestone. All right, so that totally dovetails into another thing I want to talk about was like so prior to when you were very pregnant was the VMAs last year?
Oh yes.
And so you showed like it was great because you showed up like basically naked, but like awesome, like killing it. You ruled the VMAs in my mind. Like, walk us through the outfit of you being 9 months pregnant at the VMAs last year.
So, deciding what to wear to the VMAs, especially if you're not a performer, like nobody cares about you if you're not Beyonce, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's a fun event, and people usually wear something interesting.
Like, why not try to kill it?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I was pregnant, and I didn't know what to wear, but I wanted to look great, so I was shopping for stuff, and for my going home in the hospital outfit, I wanted to wear like a jumpsuit. Like I wasn't even thinking VMAs like at this moment.
Yeah.
And I couldn't zip up the jacket.
Uh-huh.
And my sister took a photo of me just like with my belly out in this like tracksuit, and I was like, that looks kind of good. Maybe I should just wear this to the VMAs.
Like totally own the fact that you're pregnant as opposed
like nothing was really looking good. I was either looking like a trash bag, and so it was like I gave up looking for VMA stuff, and I just was like, oh, this is cute. So I wasn't really planning on like breaking the internet with that outfit.
Right.
I thought that was kind of a normal look, and I was used to seeing my own body naked every day.
Yeah.
It's my body. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
But I guess other people weren't used to seeing a giant pregnant lady with her.
No, but like out. So then I remember when I saw those pics, I snapped Perez, and I'm like, I swear to God, I'm not just saying this because I know her. Like, Laura is now my favorite celeb, legit in the whole world. Like, that's incredible because like the VMAs, obviously, like I grew up on that, but now I only like absorb the biggest two storylines of the night or whatever. But that definitely, all of a sudden, my whole Twitter feed was this picture of you and Nev, and I'm like, this is insane. Like, whoa.
It really struck a chord with people. People either loved it or they were like, oh my God, that's so trashy. You should cover that up.
Right.
And to me, it wasn't a statement. I just wore it because it felt good.
You weren't trying to provoke. You were like,
it was comfortable. And a lot of people were wearing the open jackets that year, coincidentally.
Yeah.
With nothing underneath. And for me, it was just like, I was surprised people were so shocked.
What was the percentage of like positive, negative feedback you got from that, if you had to guess?
It's hard to know. There were definitely a lot of like people on the internet being like that. Oh, she's trashy, tacky, all that stuff. But I think if people felt positively about it, they don't say it as much, right?
Sure, right.
So the ratio of like positive to negative comments was like pretty even.
Yeah.
But I think more people probably thought it was nice.
You're right, because the people who think it's cool
they don't need to say it.
It's easier to tweet about outrage and everything like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of angry people that want to be angry.
Yeah. No, it is a fascinating world. So, like, then, like, when you travel, like, it's funny, like, I follow your social media, so, like, Snapchat. I don't follow that many people's Snapchats, but I'll go through yours, and, it'll be, like, sometimes you'll be, like, at the airport, and they'll, like, be teen girls being like, can you take a picture of Nev with me?
God,
and, you sort of, like, his photographer in certain demos like that.
Yeah. My favorite is snapping people getting their photos with Nev.
Yes,
which is funny because they get so mad at me because that's a pretty vulnerable moment, right? When you go up to a celebrity and you're like, hey, can I like take your photo? And so I'm like kind of trolling them because I'm like, oh, well, if you're going to ask for a photo, I'm going to get a photo of you. And all of a sudden they're like, oh. But I'm like, yeah, that's what it feels like when someone's taking your picture.
Right. Oh, that's so true.
And I'm not trying to be mean, but like it's part of
you're doing to them exactly what they're doing to you.
Yeah.
Right, but he seems to handle it well. He knows that's part
so
of the territory. Yeah. He's really good like that.
He's super sweet.
Right. Now he's always like running and everything. You guys are like super fit, I feel like.
Oh my God. Well, I have been working out for a few months.
Mm-hmm.
And today they measure your body fat and stuff. There's a machine at Equinox that will like measure you.
It's like what, it clips your...
No, you just it measures the electric waves in your... I don't know the technology, but you put your hands on it's just from your thumbs and your feet.
Yeah.
And it tells you how much like body fat you have and all these things. So in the last like 6 months or 5 months or whatever, I gained 5 pounds of muscle.
Wow.
Yeah. And my like body fat went down like 7%.
Wow.
Like, working out works, and I didn't realize.
I know. I got to do it some more.
It works.
What are you doing for what's your workout regimen?
I mean, just lift some weights, little like leg kicks. Honestly, it's very, very low key.
Yeah.
And I probably work out twice a week.
Right. So you just keep yourself like lean and toned, but you're not like Nev's running like marathons every day. So you don't do that whole thing, right?
No. Nev's like aggressively running
right
now.
Yeah.
He's like, this will be his third marathon in a row. He's trying to break that sub 3 hour marathon. So this will be his third New York City marathon, which is crazy. I mean, it's exhausting for me because I have to listen to him whining about his legs and his running, and I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But it's kind of it's cute that he loves it so much.
No, totally, it's impressive. Like he's got an inspirational thing. Like I saw one thing he did. He was like, it was something like he posted like after a long run in Santa Monica or something, like do what you want and you get the results or whatever. And like he's a hard charging dude like that.
It is annoying though when other people are doing things and seeing results and you're like, you just have to take that first step.
It's so hard, right?
It's so hard.
I can get obsessed with it, but getting to that point is really hard. I'm so just like all or nothing with that whole thing.
You gotta change your whole lifestyle, the time. I mean,
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. So like now the thing I like about a lot of people like if they were, I like the way you use the platform you've been granted, via your celebrity and whatnot. Like I think like you and Eve are a cool couple because it's not celebrity for celebrity's sake. You are using your platform to push for things that I think are cool and I agree with and that are important to you politically,
Yeah, thank you.
Socially.
Thank you.
Right. You use it to take a stance. You don't try to be vanilla. You're not just trying to sell products to people.
Right.
Like you're very much like the Laura I met 5 years ago who had that like edge to it. That's who you are now, just with a bigger audience.
I wouldn't know how to do the other way, which is just sort of, the same caption that a brand writes for you to post. Like, you see accounts like this, I'm like, why are people following this?
I know, I don't get it either.
It blows my mind. I'm like, this isn't a real person. This is basically a bot at this point. So
true.
So, I mean, I like that people are, connecting with me in certain ways. Because, I mean, all of the, social work. I don't know. We've been doing a lot of work with a company called Attention. It's an issue-based media
and that's
company.
like a startup by Nev that it's like a content company, or correct?
Yeah,
or...
he got in early. Like, they're friends of his from a bunch of years ago that started it. And they're just really smart guys.
Yeah.
And they're, from Chicago. They went to school together. They were college roommates and started this company. And they're brilliant and they're doing really well.
Yeah.
And they just want to basically, talk about social issues that in a way that millennials care about.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of, video and,
done clever. Like the one that's sticking to mind is sort of like, and like this is totally what I'm talking about. You did a thing where you and Nev talk about gender roles, and you sort of make fun of that whole thing that the dad's supposed to work and the mom's supposed to clean the house, and you do like this 50s sort of style video to sort of show the fallacy of that.
But it's just if the content's boring, no one's gonna watch it.
Right.
And a lot of people do agree with a lot of things we're saying, but it's just not out there to share around.
Totally.
Again, like there's so much negative stuff out there, and that's the stuff people put out because they're angry and they're hiding behind their computers. So the more like positive stuff that we all agree with a lot of the stuff we're saying.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think anyone thinks a dad shouldn't change a diaper.
Right.
But if you don't see any dads changing diapers and no one's talking about it, then you don't think it's normal.
It's easier for the loudest, sort of most retrograde voice to sort of set the tone on that.
Totally.
Like, I don't clean that. I watch football and my wife takes care of that.
Right.
No, it is all fascinating, like that whole thing. So it's like, you do that stuff with him. Now, like when you talk about, opportunities for endorsements and things like the thing I find fascinating is like the people who get famous for like having their shirt off and no other, or having a big butt or whatever.
Right.
And then like they try to, I guess like then they try to sell iced tea with it, and I'm just like, I don't like I'm like who's buying this stupid tea? And it's like because it's just like, oh, this person has 1 million followers for no reason. What can we use this to sell? And it's like iced tea and like protein. It's just like the dumbest thing on earth.
I know, but I guess like that's how they're making money now. Yeah. It bums me out now when kids, what they say when they want to be when they grow up. They used to want to be a veterinarian, a doctor, a
fireman, right, yeah.
Anything. And now it's like, I want to be a social media influencer. It's so...
Influencer is like the worst word. Like you are a legitimate influencer, which means you hate the word. I hate fake influencers who think they're like... Oh, it's just so horrible.
They're just serving up what they're told to serve up.
Yeah.
And they don't have like a brain behind it. That bums me out.
Right.
bums me out, but it is easy to fall into. I mean, brands will say, hey, I want you to,
like you must have
shill
legit
our
offers
brand.
for stuff.
Yeah, and
sure.
sometimes you have to say no, and sure, yeah, you might have to turn down some money, which is like, that's a luxury too.
Sure,
to be able to say, you know what, I don't need the $500 from that T-shirt company that I don't feel a connection to.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, but the offers, some of them they're substantial.
They're good, yeah.
And so you have to decide whether you want to, subject your followers
short or
to
long
that.
term. No, but it's true. I've
done some garbage stuff.
Have you?
Only I think I don't want to call out the brand.
Yeah.
But there's a couple brands but I was like, I'll make it funny. I'll do a funny video.
You put your spin on it, right? Yeah. But
so I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it is all about sort of like long-term authenticity, right? Because if you sell yourself out along the way, then you just every other
kind of
thing,
But some people works for Black China.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't she only do discount codes? I don't know if you.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't like. I mean, I know who she is, but I'm not hyper aware of that.
I'm not hyper aware
show.
either, but I do sometimes. I'll just be like, "What's she up to?" Because we had a baby around the same time. I find celebrities that had babies around the same time as me, I'm obsessed with them and their babies.
What's the most fascinating celeb interaction you've had? Of late, where cause there were pictures with you and Kim Kardashian and whatnot. I remember the VMAs. I mean, not that that's the thing, but you were, right at the red hot core of celebrity and all that whole thing,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was the pregnant lady at the VMAs, so everyone wanted a photo with me because I looked like a clown. Apparently, I didn't know. I thought I looked great.
No, you did. You did look great.
I did, but I met a lot of people at that VMAs. I think that my funniest celebrity interaction was I was talking to this guy.
Yeah.
At a party, we kind of didn't seem like we fit in there. It was a premiere after party, and he was kind of standing near the sideline, just chilling. And so I thought I'd strike a conversation. And I think I was pregnant at the time, and he was telling me about how many kids he had. He had a lot of kids, 7 or 8 or something. And I was like, you sound like a very virile man. And then he asked me what I did for work, and I asked him what he did for work, and he was like, I sing for money. And I was like, oh, cool. And I just moved on, and I walked away, and I'd been talking to him for probably 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And when we walked away, Nev was like, you know who you were just talking to, right?
Oh, wait, let me guess.
I was like, no, I don't know.
Was he black or white?
He was white.
A virile guy.
And I thought he was kind of flirting with me.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's kind of flirting with me. I was like, he's too old to flirt with me.
Was it?
It was Sting.
No!
It was Sting!
Matt!
And you know what?
Nice!
It was Sting. And you know what?
I didn't know he had that many kids.
Sting. I love Sting. I wrote a paper about Fields of Gold in my 11th grade.
So good.
I love Sting.
Yeah.
And somehow I didn't recognize Sting. I called Sting a virile man to his face.
Oh, he must have loved that, though.
Oh.
And the fact that you didn't know who he was, that must have been a big turn on for him. He must have been like, oh my God, this is perfect.
He must have been like,
diamond
oh
in the
my
rough
God,
here.
this asshole doesn't know who I am.
No, I bet he loved it. I bet he really loved it because his whole life must be boring people like, I love Don't Stand So Close to Her. You look really good.
I mean, I'm not proud of not recognizing Sting. I mean, but he was hot.
That's kind of cool. He lives right by you, too.
I think he does live right by me. Yeah.
I've seen him in Central Park before, walking with his wife. Yoga, right.
Oh my God.
It's incredible.
It's so true though. He's very attractive and his whole thing, he just drips sexuality.
Was that like a VMA after party thing?
No, it was a post event for a premiere of a movie. I think it was an Anne Hathaway film with Robert De Niro. It was called The Intern.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, right. Gotcha. And then, so now you're doing the rounds right now because you and Nev are doing a relationship show on Facebook together.
Yes. So we've been making all these videos, as you mentioned, about parental roles and or
breastfeeding, like all sorts of stuff, right?
Right, and they've all been performing really well. People are sharing and watching, and they've been great. And so Facebook was launching their new Watch tab. Which is basically their shows are streaming, and so they approached Attention and a few other media platforms and say, hey, we want you to make some shows for us for launch. And so, we got tapped to make a show, and they wanted something, it's a little lighter, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's basically Nev and I, we're not giving advice about relationships. People call in, write in.
Is it on Facebook Live, or how does it look?
It's a new tab. It's called Watch. It's basically their version of a Netflix.
Right, sure.
Yeah, it's
content.
everybody's coming at this content game.
Yeah.
It's smart. I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner, but it's a smart play.
Totally, because they have the platform locked down. Right.
So episode 2 launched recently.
Yeah.
We've got 10 episodes in the can.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. So people write in. Each episode is about a different topic that affects relationships, like moving in, social media, clingers, what to do when you have a clinger, a bad date.
So it's almost like an offshoot of the issues they deal with on Catfish in a way, like these weird relationship things,
Right,
you know, like
yeah.
that are sort of universal.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
And you're from. All right, so we talked about your dad for a second. You're from.
Let's move on to your dad.
Let's get back to your dad for a
Cool
second.
show. I need to talk about your father.
I love Bruce, but like I'm fascinated because the thing is, I love Bruce. Is like, so you're from Michigan, from Detroit.
Yeah. I brought my Michigan cup
Is
today.
he like? Am I being like? He was in? Did he work in the auto industry or something? Like what?
Yes. Big Bruce news. I don't know. I think I'm allowed to say it now.
Yeah.
So my dad's worked at Ford Motor Company for 49 years.
Wow.
Yes. That's crazy.
Like
amount
still
of time.
working there?
And he is still there.
Great.
But he has accepted, finally. They've been trying to get him to retire
Oh,
for
I'm
15
sure.
years or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
He finally said, you know what? This package looks nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. They accept it. You know, they.
Oh, good. All
so
right.
It's going down. His last day of work after 49 years at Ford Motor Company will be the end of the month.
That's phenomenal. That's great. That's great that he lasted that long. Like too, you know. I mean, that's been a tough industry for a lot of people and
you know what
everything.
he says that it actually takes more creativity to stay at a job like that. Because it's like there are things that, like, you know, people move around jobs and they have to learn a whole new set of things, and you think that's really stimulating, but you never get past that initial learning. And so he's like, no, I've had to be so creative to make this job interesting for myself.
Right.
So it's actually been very stimulating for all the 49 years.
Oh, I love Bruce.
I'm like, don't you get bored? He's
Right.
like,
No. And he's a veteran too. He's like a real man. I love it.
He's such a real man.
Now, like, and so you have a sister who's like works in TV news.
She
like,
does.
Your sister is so different than
she
you.
runs shit.
Right.
Do you know how she started? She
No.
started doing the social media for a news station.
Yeah.
And then ended up being the entire news director.
Oh,
Because
right.
That's how, that's the news.
Yeah. And she's in a smaller market, and she just showed
she's
initiative,
crushing it.
and
She's coming for you.
Oh my
She's
God.
going to take your job.
I don't like the sound of that. I'm gonna Bruce, get your daughter off my back, Bruce. I need to make it 49 years here too.
Oh my God.
God, that's incredible. And like your dad is like, so he's clearly a smart guy because like that's a philosophical perspective to have him working at it. You know, he's like, you got to be that whole thing that shows a lot of like great thought and mental process up there. Like, what does he make of? So like, it's you who's like this fun celebrity, and like your sister's doing like a regular job, like fun job, but it's sort of more straight lifestyle. What
And
is?
I do have a brother.
Oh, you do have a brother,
I have
right?
a genius little brother.
Yeah, he's young. Like, is he like college age or something?
No, he just got his PhD in space weather. He works at a NASA contractor.
Whoa.
NASA.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I can't even say it. I always say NASA.
NASA,
like,
right? NASA Coliseum.
NASA.
I know. I do that too.
Oh,
NASA.
Yeah, he's like running it now.
Oh my God.
I know. God, they're so. I feel like my siblings are really. I'm the middle child. It's. So
Oh, is that
obvious.
okay?
I'm so obviously the middle. Just desperate for attention. I'm wearing sparkle pants today.
Right, like, look at me.
God, strewn over your couch, hungover. I'm 32 years old, Steve.
I know.
I can't grow up. Don't make me.
No, listen.
When do you feel like you grew up?
No, I feel totally young for my age. Like when I moved to New York 6 years ago, and I feel like I always tell everybody like when I moved here, I immediately shaved 10 years off my life.
Right.
Like I got younger. It's like that's one of my favorite things about living in New York is the fact that it's on such a different sliding scale. Like the bigger the city, the younger older is.
Kind of. Or you feel, but but it's not real. Like I feel younger, but I'm simply not.
Right. It's not, and it doesn't transfer. It's not transferable outside of like New York or LA. You couldn't. Right. I couldn't go to Springfield again and feel young at 42. They'd be like, what?
When I go to Michigan, they look at me like I'm a crazy person, and they're right.
Right.
They're not wrong.
Right.
I can't control it though.
Yeah.
I wear shoes with scribbles on them most of the time.
But it's fun, right? There's a Peter Pan element to it for sure. I think because he's kind of like everyone wears their Air Jordans at 50 here and stuff, and it's like whatever.
I know. I kind of love it. So
I do love it too.
I've been living in Brooklyn for a long time, and now that I moved to the Upper West Side momentarily, not forever, but it's so funny up here. It's like real New York.
Right.
It's like the people that have been living here have been living here.
No, totally. It's like oh hello. It's like Woody Allen. It is that stereotype of whatever the Upper West Side is real.
There's fanny packs. On my elevator, there's a guy, he wears a fanny pack, and he has a Walkman with the headphones that go over the head.
Right.
And he's listening to Frank Sinatra, and you can hear it.
Yeah.
Pretty much every time.
And he doesn't care what you think about it. Yeah.
It's just so, right. Sometimes he's eating a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
It's just really.
When was the last time you had a slice of pizza?
Yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why when do you eat pizza?
I mean, I eat pizza all the time, but I don't. I'm not in that great of shape, really.
Do you think I'm in great shape?
Yeah.
You haven't even seen my body.
Yeah. I mean, I see it on Insta.
Those aren't my body most of the time. People think that I'm posting photos of myself, but I just have a lot of girlfriends that I'm always posting. I tag them, but people get confused.
Yeah.
I'm happy though that people think Carol's butt is my butt.
Carol,
She's got a great butt.
Carol, Carissa. I know your whole girl crew too.
Stephanie, I got Natalia, I've got Kate, Dorothy, Catherine. I have a lot of girls, but they're not friends with each other, but now I think they are.
Oh,
Over the years, I've picked up a friend here and there, and then now...
And how did you meet Carol? What was that?
Carol and I met... So this is my best friend, Carol.
Because she used to live in Boston, right?
Yes, we met in Boston, working at the same lounge restaurant.
Really?
Yes.
Which one?
It was called Mini Bar. And
I know Mini Bar, the Lennox Hotel or whatever?
Yes.
I used to live in South End. I live right off Columbus.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, we met there, and it was funny because Carol and I are both, really aggressive when we're, serving, because we were working at, we were servers.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a section system. It was just, whoever got whatever table, and we were, cats.
Yeah.
We were give me that table, that's my money. We were always fighting about stuff.
Right.
Which is funny because then we became best friends.
Well, I can't picture you living in Boston. Why were you there?
I went to college. I was at Boston University.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely didn't know that.
Yeah, and then I stayed for a couple years. I started dating a banker.
Yeah.
The Boston banker types, and I was like, this is kind of cushy.
Yeah.
And then
where did he live?
South End.
South End, yeah.
No, South E.
South. Oh, I hate South E.
Forecourt Square Press. In the building I used to live in, 2 people were murdered.
Really? Oh, with the doctors?
The doctors.
Oh, yeah,
I used to live in that building.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was really crazy,
So
that whole
scary.
story. Yeah.
I wonder, it's do I hear every time someone is murdered? Do I know about it or not? Because it feels like there's all these stabbings and things happening, and I'm
Right.
do I know all of them? Or how many am I missing? I feel like it haunts every day. I'm like there's I hear about another horrible killing.
I know.
Am I
I think it's like a dog whistle thing where you only hear it if you hear the other part, which is a place that you are familiar with.
Right.
Otherwise it just goes right over your head.
Right.
Probably. That's the only way to stay sane. You can't know about all of it.
It's horrible.
Right. That's what everyone asked me about working in news. What's it like, the drumbeat of bad news? I'm like, it's crazy, but yeah, at some point you just have to I don't know, you figure a way to protect yourself. You can't go too far into every tragedy or you just, will go nuts.
I picture myself as the victim every time I hear the story. And it makes me really freaked out all the time. We were going hiking the other day, and this guy, he was wearing, khakis and, a button down, and he, parked in the hiking parking lot, and he had these, wrists. It looked like bag ties. I was like, he's gonna murder us for sure.
Yeah.
And he was like, you're crazy. And I'm like, I don't know. In the news, there was a guy. I just can't.
Where do you feel more safe, New York or LA? And I have an opinion on this, but I'm fascinated to hear what you say.
I feel more safe in New York, but then
Totally.
you never know. Someone got stabbed outside of my apartment basically 3 days ago.
I think New York's way
Tourists.
more safe because the high-rise building thing, whereas in LA, every celeb's house has been broken into, and the security systems, they don't know if that really works or if they're in on it. It's harder to protect an individual home than the entranceway to a building, you know, and
There's
then you're
be
in a
lot
locked
of slip-ups.
Totally, right.
For something to
Yeah,
get in
that's
your
what I like
house.
about New York. I'm more scared when I go visit my mom down the Cape at night and I hear a raccoon in the backyard than in Manhattan. I'm like, oh, I'm safe as can be.
I know. I go back to Michigan and I'm like, someone could just break the window.
Totally.
Very easily.
Yeah.
I feel safe up in a
Same
tower
deal.
a little
Same
bit.
deal.
Although,
Same deal.
yeah, Neve and I are now looking to get a place, and the place we like is actually not up in a tower.
Oh, really?
But now I'm like, maybe that's not a good idea. I don't know.
I do love the
The tower feel.
Yeah, I do.
I get.
What
I
would
do get
not be a
claustrophobic.
tower?
I do
What
get
would that mean?
claustrophobic.
In the burbs or something? Or?
No, like a town townhouse.
Yeah.
So you don't have a doorman.
Right.
Now I'm a little nervous about it, just talking about it now. I'm too freaked out. Pull the offer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the doorman thing can become its own thing, but I almost couldn't live without it now.
Can you imagine being a doorman? I want to be a doorman.
You do?
Oh my God.
I hate small talk. I would hate to be a doorman.
Oh, I love gossip though.
Oh yeah, they know everything.
You would know everything.
Yeah.
Everybody's weird little
No, I know.
idiosyncrasies,
and
fetishes.
they do love having that power. Like they lord that power over you. You know, it's like
they know
right.
everything.
They know everything.
Do you ever watch the new Master?
Do you tip your mailman?
I
don't.
I don't know.
That one I was like, you're supposed to tip your mailman. I don't know. It seems weird.
I don't think I've ever seen the mailman.
Right.
But how do you tip them? Like leave
like
10 in your mailbox?
Yeah, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Or what? Why would you do that?
I don't know. Right. Like I'm with you, kind of.
I mean,
I'm all for tipping everybody.
You know what? This brings up a thing. Tipping culture stresses me out.
Totally. It puts the onus on you, not the business owner, to just pay their employees.
Now you have to tip on Uber. I'm like, the whole thing about Uber was I didn't have to tip, and now I'm like, I'm an asshole if I don't tip. But I thought they built it into the price.
I never use Uber because I'm only in New York, but I think it's something, the way they get you around it, like you can tip the person up to like a week after. So there's some way that it's not like when you walk out the door, the person knows to hate you.
Right. Yeah, you
That's
do it
the way
after
they
when you give
put
them the
that
star rating.
Yeah, right. It's like a
feel
little bit
guilty,
vague.
though.
Like maybe I'll still tip you later. Bye.
Gotta go.
Right.
I don't know. Like when people want me to tip them for $5 coffee that they poured out of a cup. Like it's why?
Like I am the king of the working man, but some of the tipping stuff is hell because it's just like so transactional. Like the pizza shop, it's like no, it's like that's the very essence of what you're doing is handing me a thing and I give you money for it.
I know. It's just annoying, and I know they're paid properly. Like the whole thing behind tipping at a restaurant,
right? Because they're not. They're making $3 an hour plus tips or whatever.
And that makes sense to me because it's a service industry.
Right. You need to have some motivation there to do a good job.
But if you're making me coffee, like, and you know what? They're always like so slow. I'm not like a big barista fan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get like a lot of baristas.
There's a lot of attitude coming from baristas.
Yeah, like they're like something like.
What's your favorite coffee shop in your hood? Do you have one or?
I don't know. I just make my own coffee.
Do you?
I hate going in so much. I hate the forced tip.
Yeah.
I hate the line. I hate the arrogance.
Yeah.
I brought my own coffee today in my own little mug.
You did. Right.
I love cruising with a coffee.
Oh, is it a mug? Is this his love with Michigan as the O?
Yeah, I got this as a wedding gift.
Nice.
From my mom's friends.
That's cool.
It's a great gift, right? Yeah. I love Michigan swag.
Too. I'm from Massachusetts, and now I'm so fascinated by it. In
Do you get
hindsight.
You get mass swag?
Yeah, like, and I'll just like every like bumper sticker says like mass hole and stuff. Like I take all those pictures every day. Like it's visiting my mom on the Cape is the greatest. It's awesome. All right, Laura, I think we've done our whole thing here.
All right,
that was painless, right?
Was that good?
Yeah, okay. I think it was good.
Cool.
Yeah, this is like now we've met each other 5 times in real life. I would bet this is probably our 5th.
Yeah.
Real life interaction. 4 or 5 or something.
I love it, but we should binge talk all the time.
I know.
More hanging out.
Yeah.
But we need the dog and the baby.
Right. We'll do that in Central Park.
We'd break the internet.
I'll meet you at the sheep meadow. I know.
Are you kidding me? Just for the Instagram alone, we have to
there's a family in the park the other day, and they saw Ryder, and then she's like the daughter. There was 2 daughters, a husband and wife, and the daughter's like, "Oh, I gotta see the dog." Yeah. And then the lady looks at the dog, and she goes, "Oh, you're Steve Lacy from Fox 5. I recognize your dog from Instagram." And I'm like, "Yes."
I love it.
I'm like, and that's not the first time that's happened.
The dog's more famous than you.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, that's why I didn't give the dog its own account. I could not have standed to watch it become more famous than me on Instagram. So I'm like, no way.
The dog doesn't even have a bus shelter. Doesn't have anything.
Dog is hapless without me, so I'm gonna at least get the dog's likes. No, I love my rider, Laura. You know what's funny? You're Laura Pigo to me because like you were El Pigo on Instagram, and then I put you on my phone as Laura Pigo because I didn't know your last name was Perlongo, and then then Matt, who's in the room with us, he was like, "All right, give me the guest full name," and I had to like look it up. Like, you're like Laura Perlongo Shulman.
Yeah, I didn't change my name yet.
You didn't.
I don't think I'm going to.
It's a lot of paperwork, and my wife did. And it's just like it's a hassle, you know.
What was your last name before?
Gilligan.
Which
Lacey. I think is a great name.
Gilligan's great, but Lacey's like equally great.
She really likes it. I thought Anna, like, I don't know what I think about my last name, but she likes it, and you know,
it's kind of girly, like Lacey.
Right, totally.
Like I want it.
Yeah.
I'll take it too.
Yeah.
I think we'd have to move to a different state for that, but yeah, I don't know. I like Perlongo. Shulman's kind of, you know, I don't know. I wish it were something cooler like Fire, Storm.
Yeah, you can't pick that.
Storm.
Right.
Would be nice. Maybe we'll all change our names. Anyway, cool. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Laura.
Steve Thunder.
Steve Thunder.
Steve Ryder Thunder. Shulman.
Steve. I can't think of another one.
Bruce.
Steven
Bruce. Steven Bruce.
You know, we wanted to name Cleo Bruce.
Really?
Yeah. But we were like, nah, that's mean.
That would have been great.
For a girl. Bruce, like a dated older man's name, like
I love
in the
it.
40s.
I love the specific names. Like they're coming back now too, like Gladys and all these weird names.
I know. Every girl has a boy's name now, though. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know. We'll call her Josephine. Everyone will call her Joe. We'll call her
It's
Francis.
true.
Everyone will call her Frankie. Like,
Gender fluid is in right now.
I know. I like it.
All right, we're rambling now.
All right, bye.
Laura, thank you.
Billy.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. This episode was recorded, edited, and mixed by Matt Onimus. Our executive producers are me, Matt, and Ahmad Asgar. Our vice president of news is Byron Harmon, and our vice president and general manager is Lou Leone. Binge Talking is part of the Fox 5 Podcast Network. I'm Steve Lacy, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at Stephen Lacy with a V, or on Instagram, Steve Lacy, STEVELACY. In the meantime, stay tuned for our next episode.